2026, a doorway opens, a gateway into the heart of biblical prophecy, and the world is invited. This July 8th through 11th, 2026 in St. Louis, Missouri, the Eschatology of the Prophet's Gateway Conference brings together some of the most respected voices in fulfilled prophecy studies, featuring Dr. Don K. Preston, Dr. William Bell Jr., Zach Davis, Pastor Michael Miano, Tim Martin, Pastor Steve Magua, and more guest speakers to be announced. 4 days of revelation, 4 days of powerful teaching, 4 days that will reshape how you understand the prophets from Genesis to Revelation. Only 100 tickets are available, and when they're gone, they're gone. Secure your spot today at www.thewellchurchstl.com/events. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Step through the gateway. More information is available at www.beyondcreationscience.com. July 8th through 11th, 2026, St. Louis, Missouri. The Gateway Conference. Enter the conversation. Experience the revelation.
Well, a very good evening to you, and welcome to another session of Ask the Pastor here at Ask the Pastor Bible 3D, the Church at the Well in St. Louis. My name is Steve Magua, host of Eschatology of the Prophets Conference, July 2026. And tonight, we have a treat for you. We have with us one of our esteemed and really awesome speakers, a guy that I've gotten to know relatively well, although I'm still wanting to know him more. And so without much further ado, let me bring on Zach Davis, Pastor Zach Davis, Prophet Zach Davis, President. I don't know what his title is, man. I just know him as Zach Davis. Welcome, Zach Davis. What's up, man?
I think I'm going to start going by Apostle. I think I'm going to switch over.
That's the one right there.
What's up, Steve? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm having fun. Did I already tell you it's my birthday tomorrow?
Yeah, you said you'd be 28.
Right, I hope. I wish. Yeah, so anyway, it's my birthday tomorrow, guys. Turning 29. Zach Davis is trying to make me look younger, but I am not. So anyway, how are you? How is Arkansas? Jonesboro now?
Yeah, so I live between Jonesboro and Harrisburg, where I grew up. So, yeah, I'm doing good. Wife and kids are good, and still trying to put some videos out and working in the service department at a car dealership in Jonesboro. So, working for a good company, good to me, and doing a little Bible study on Sundays here. We've got a place that we meet at, and about 30 or so of us getting together, and it's a good time on Sunday mornings. So still got some stuff going on there, but yeah.
Awesome. So this is the ministry Hope Fulfilled.
Yeah, so we started a ministry, Travis and I did, Hope Fulfilled Ministries, and name that kind of what we're doing. And the Arkansas Eschatology Conference will be sponsored by our ministry as to what we've set up. And, hopefully looking to add to some things slowly as we go, just getting our feet wet as of now. But, just trying to establish something to have a name that people would know us by instead of just YouTube pages of Zach Davis and Travis Strum. But, really pushing a lot of stuff on Patreon, and, hopefully we'll be able to do something. I want to be able to put out some material weekly and writing and some stuff like that. So we're working on that, and that'll all go through that ministry umbrella. So
awesome. Now there's a guy on here. I don't know what he's about, man. I'm just gonna put it on here, and I don't know if you know him. This is some guy. It's Tim Martin.
I met him once or twice. I think I've seen him 2 times in my life now. So,
right.
We went on a secret reconnaissance mission that I'm still not allowed to talk about. And hopefully one day some of those interviews will be aired. Maybe they will.
There you go. I heard about that. I heard you guys went to some state out there, close to, I don't know, Utah, Montana, Idaho, somewhere around there, and I'm still waiting for.
Yeah, let me tell you a story about this.
Go ahead.
I bet that Tim thought I was the sorriest human on the face of the earth. I was sick as a dog with the stomach virus the entire
Oh,
time.
right.
The entire time I was there. And we went and ate with, so we went to this guy's house and ate with him and his family. And Tim and wanted to meet him, and we had got together. And I go, I don't hardly talk. I don't eat anything. I bet his wife was so mad at me. Like I felt like such a
Wow.
punk, but I couldn't because I was sick as a dog the whole time I was out there. But we
Oh.
held it together a little bit.
Well, I'm sorry that you went through that because that's not the guy you are. I know, first of all, you never turned down a meal, or for one,
Yeah.
and you never turned down a conversation. So, but I heard you that you guys had fun, and Tim actually says you soldiered right through it, brother. So he's
Man.
okay with it. He's okay with it. So
Yeah.
here's another guy, and I think he really likes you here. His name is JTEX. He says, "Oh, there you are, guys. I saw him the other day.
I know JTEX. He's on some of my stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
JTEX, I
He's
don't
a good
remember your
guy.
name though. Only your YouTube handle. So my bad.
Amen. Amen. So anyway, Zach, we have this thing going on in July, and I wanted to ask you officially if you know you might come. I don't know what your schedule is like. So this is the schedule, and I just want you to consider whether you'd come. So we have an eschatology of the prophets gateway conference. It's going to be in St. Louis, Missouri, July 8th to 11th, 2026. We have Don Preston, William Bell. Oh, there you are. I don't know if you're going to accept, man. Zach Davis, Michael Miano, Tim Martin, and Steve Magua. And we also have a mystery speaker. Actually, we have a seventh guy. So are you going to be available to come?
I'll be there. I won't be there for the whole thing, but I'll be there the last 2 days is my plan. So
Amen.
I
Awesome.
gotta
Awesome.
I got this new job. I can't be missing too much just starting. They'll be frowning on me, but I will be there.
Now, I got to tell you, Zach, knowing your schedule, because we've talked and, Tim is aware, I'm aware. We are truly honored that you said yes anyway, in spite of the really tight schedule that you will have, and the fact that you'll have to drive at least 5 hours coming to St. Louis, and then 5 hours the next day to be back to your family on Saturday evening and Sunday morning for whatever you're doing. So we really, really appreciate that you'll be able to make it.
Well, the only reason I'm able to fit it in is because my 7 and 8 year old coach pitch baseball season will be over at this point.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
right now we're 3 nights a week or so we're baseballing, and then we're just busy. So no, I'm
Awesome.
looking forward to it, Steve. I'm looking forward to coming, seeing everybody.
Very good. So now let me ask you this. When we first began to think about this, actually, it was in Montana. You were with us in Montana for the eschatology of Genesis conference, and in a little while, I'm going to ask you what your experiences were with that. But let me ask you about this particular conference. It's named the eschatology of the prophets. Now, and I will ask you about your topic much later, but what is it that came to your mind? Why did you decide that you want to be a part of this? Why is eschatology of the prophets important to you?
I think something that was really transformative for me, Steve, was once I realized that the New Testament authors' eschatology and their teachings and everything they believed was rooted and founded in the Old Testament, then it placed an importance again on really a side of the Bible that I never viewed as important.
Right.
And I'm not saying they didn't teach the Old Testament when I was growing up, but they were divorced. You might say that we had a Old Testament, New Testament divorce going on, especially in the way you viewed the text. That there wasn't an understanding of how the New Testament writers used the Old Testament, and I think that's such a shame. And to be honest, Steve, that's something I'm still trying to figure out, is how the New Testament writers are using the Old Testament in so many areas about so many different things, because
Right.
fighting back assumptions is really hard, but also seeing the story of the Bible. I can't over the past 6 years or so, in studying the Bible, because I was afforded the opportunity to spend a lot of time studying,
Right.
seeing the Bible as a whole story and how it fits together has really changed my view of the Bible. It's allowed me to understand the Bible because I was deeply Bible saturated as a kid. I mean, I tell everybody my parents had a drug problem. They drugged me to church every chance that they got.
Oh
So
my God.
we
I've never, I'm gonna steal that from you. You had a drug, bro. You're dragged to church. Oh
well,
my
I
word.
stole it from Miss Brenda at Mark Tree, who played the piano. She said that about her mom and dad too. So I got it from her. But anyway,
I love that.
so I knew a bunch of Bible. Like I I had a lot of stuff memorized. I spent a lot of time in Awanas. I mean, my name's on the wall. If they hadn't taken my name off at the church I grew up in, my name was, I'll say was on the wall for the Awana
Right.
verses memorized and book spat, like that type of stuff. So, but I never understood the story and how it worked together. And
Right.
even thinking back to things like Awanas, it was mainly New Testament verses instead of Old Testament. And, here's your stories, but no foundation really of how they intermingled. And there's so many Christians, Steve, and I'm sure you see this too, who don't understand their Bible, or the Bible is hard and I don't feel like I can explain the Bible, and so many questions about Christianity and religion, just because I think the narrative that was taught of the Bible is totally disconnected, and it
Yes.
doesn't make things make a lot of sense. As if there's no context at all. And once you start to put things in context, it doesn't take away application. It enriches the application, actually. I mean, I feel like I can apply the Bible better to my life now than I ever could.
Right.
But man, it starts to make things make a lot more sense. And to me, that's a more God honoring view when you're reading a book that makes logical, consistent, coherent sense, because we have a logical, consistent, coherent God who
Mhm.
wrote the book. So
Right.
that's
Right.
been such a blessing to me. And it's enriched my love for the Lord. It's enriched my walk with the Lord. It's strengthened my walk with the Lord. And it's given me a peace that I
Right.
probably never really knew. And man, can I just say this too? A confidence. Like I've never been really one to lack for confidence in a lot of areas of life. Like I've always been fairly confident,
Right.
but I never would have said, man, I feel like I really got a good handle on the scriptures. I had a lot of them memorized, but
Right.
never. I remember teaching early on, Steve, and the church that I pastored. Before I pastored it, I taught a Sunday school class there, and I remember being so nervous just teaching adults for the first time. But even when I
Mhm.
was doing youth ministry stuff and teaching youth and kids, I never felt real confident in my abilities. But man, you start spending a lot of time into something, you get a better grasp on it, and there's a confidence in knowing the book. And I hope that confidence exuberates, if that's a word, from my teaching online. And I hope, because there should be a confidence when we approach the word of God. And I think knowing the prophets, how they fit in the New Testament, why the New Testament writers are using them, I think that's enriched me, and that's why I want to be a part of something like what you guys are doing in that.
Amen. Now, man, you are speaking my heart. You are testifying because that's exactly. I grew up in a Baptist kind of environment.
No, no, you didn't.
Yes, you did. Yes, I did. At first, then in my more my teenage going into adulthood, then we switched over to the charismatic side. But my original setting, I know all the Baptist hymns, man. I
Do
knew
you?
all the hymns. Oh
What's
yeah,
your
all of
favorite
them.
one?
It is well. It is well. Blessed assurance, how great
Blessed.
thou art.
We changed the words to blessed assurance where I'm
Did you?
from. Yeah, because all the tornadoes, it's blessed insurance. Premium's
Oh
mine.
my God.
I've got Farm Bureau way overpriced, by the way. Anyway,
And I know that's surprising to you. I actually grew up more of a Baptist, and I went to a Baptist high school until I got more to high school and everything. But anyway,
I
so
figured
when
you
I be
came out of the womb speaking in tongues.
oh no, Oh no, the tongues came later.
Okay.
The tongues came way later. But
That was an
anyway,
acquired skill.
when I became a Christian and then I became a preacher soon afterwards, you just described my life. I memorized all the scriptures. I knew all the New Testament scriptures by heart. And the Old Testament was only there to supply for me the issue of judgment. And so I was
Yeah.
terrified about judgment. I didn't know how it worked. I just knew God is coming and I'm probably not going to make it because I'm such a sinner and, I'm going to go to the lake of fire and all that. I didn't understand any of that stuff. So all the way up to 2019, I really had the most miserable time as a Christian and as a pastor. It was not until I began to fully understand how the promises of God fit in the Old Testament, how they come into the New Testament, how they are fulfilled. Then I began to have this peace around me. So when you are testifying, I was like, man, that's me. That's me. So
COVID
that's been my life.
COVID play a big part in your journey?
What was that?
Did COVID play a big part in your journey,
Yes.
giving you some
Oh,
time?
oh my God. Oh
Changed
my
my
goodness.
life.
COVID, for me, I will have to say COVID has to be a supernatural, because I'm charismatic, of course. God sent COVID for me to rescue me.
Yeah. I think
Right.
COVID made more preterists than anything. Everybody says all the time, who made the most preterists? Was it Don or Mike or Ed Steven? No, it was
COVID.
COVID.
It was COVID. It was COVID for sure. Because I became a preterist. I heard about preterism in December of 2019. I did not accept to say, okay, until maybe midway through 2020. Because I
Yeah.
was convinced when I first had Don and I first had Michael, those are the first two people I had. I was like, no way, I'm never gonna accept this. First of all, they are messing with my Satan, and you don't mess with the Satan of a charismatic. You can mess with Jesus all you want. You can
Yeah.
even mess with the Holy Ghost, but you don't mess with my Satan.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they were messing with my whole future. So I said, I'll never become a full preterist. But once I understood the prophets and I understood that the New Testament itself, Jesus himself, was basing his whole gospel on the prophets, I was
Yeah.
cooked. I was done.
Yeah. That's good. When I took over the church, COVID had just hit. So we didn't do anything for the first year and a half other than just have Sunday morning services and I guess Sunday school is what you call it.
Right.
So not there are a lot of things in church world and I've been in there are a lot of really busy things in church world that can keep you busy doing things that are really a waste of your time.
Right.
So all those were gone my first year and a half. And it was just hit the ground running studying. Because I knew I needed to. So
Right. 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 Now, do you know any of these guys, and how do you know them? Don Preston, William Bell, Michael, Tim, Steve. How do you know these guys? If you can just go down the list, starting with Don and then
um
William and then Michael and then
how do I
Tim.
know Don? I
Mm.
boy, I'd have to think back. I don't know. I probably was so the first person in the preterist world I ever talked to was Mike because he
Okay.
was ignorant enough to put his actual phone number on the internet on a
All right.
page, and I just called him one day. It was on. He challenged Jeff Durbin and them to a debate, and James White and at Apologia, and he put his phone number down at the bottom of it, and I just called him because I read it and I'm like, this is good.
All
So
right.
Mike probably introduced me to Don. I probably sent a message on Facebook to Don at some point,
All right.
and me and him did some stuff in Second Corinthians at one point while I was at the church. We made it through a little bit into 5, I think. So there's probably 15 or so of those lessons that are out there somewhere on my channel.
Okay.
So I knew him through that, and we've talked on the phone several times. He came to Arkansas and spoke in 2024.
Right.
So got to know him there. Obviously was around him a little bit in Montana, not much there. It's conferences are busy and
Right. Right.
a, a lot of our you know how this is. A lot of our time spoken to each other is either on the phone or through stuff like this. It's not really in those settings.
Right.
At least it's typically not for me. And we had some
Right.
time in Montana there beforehand and got to visit with Don, but it's never you
Awesome.
just go up there and you spend 3 days with somebody else. But know him and obviously knew him through listening to a lot of his stuff early on. And I've never met William or Michael. I've done
Okay.
some interviews like this with Michael before. I actually messaged William today because me and him are getting together 2 Sunday nights from now, and
Okay.
we're going to have a discussion about 2 Corinthians 5 and the body that's in view there. So we're only like 45 minutes to an hour away from each other. So I'd reached out to him at one point, told him I'd come to Memphis and buy him lunch, and he said he would, but he was overseas at that time for a stretch
Right.
and out of the country, and we never got back together on it, and I got busy. So I'm looking forward to meeting him. I've never met him, and I saw where
Right.
you've got me speaking in front of him. Thanks a lot, or right after him. I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
never met Mike. We've talked over StreamYard and some interviews like this before. So
But
look,
but I mean, apart from knowing them personally, you at least you do know what they teach, what their
oh
quality
yeah,
is,
yeah,
what
yeah.
they're
No, so I've listened to, I mean, I've listened to all you guys.
right. Right.
And would you say, Steve, that even though we teach and are online and people know who we are, we come across everybody just like everybody else does, listening to them on YouTube. So
That is true.
I've
That
spent
is true.
hours listening to these guys,
Right.
and that's, you know, I've listened to a lot of Steve, a lot of Tim, a lot of, a lot of William. That's how we know each other, and it's the same way. And then the difference is we just reach out or shoot a message and then join up for videos. So, and then get
It is
together
so true.
but I think there's an aspect too where we study to know, where everybody's at on stuff. We're not ignorant of everybody's beliefs. So, but
And you guys have been doing something together with Don and others, Mike Sullivan, on Revelation
yeah, so
study.
that Revelation study, me, Rick, Don, and Mike, Joel was on it for a while, but he got a different job now. So we're trying to finish that out. We're somewhere in 21. I don't know. We've been in Isaiah a couple weeks, and it's hard to get together sometimes to get all of us in on it, but just spending time each other like that. And to be honest, to a lot of people, they, even like me and you tonight, we didn't spend 3 hours before jumping on here. We don't have time.
No, we
So
don't have time.
a lot of the time we spend with each other even is interacting in the videos that we do. That Revelation study, there's no prep to it. We're just,
Right.
Mike's doing prep. He's making some PowerPoint stuff, but which is
Mike
why
always
it's
is making PowerPoint stuff and
which is
charts
why
and
it's
charts.
so funny because like I'm obviously pretty sarcastic even online and taking shots at them, during the stuff. And I'm sure everybody's thinking, well, man, I bet these guys talk a lot. And we really don't talk just a whole lot outside of the on air stuff. So it's even funnier if you know that. But
Right.
it's pretty
It's funny you
comical.
say that because actually, I think the most time that I've spent with you was at that ice cream shop with Scott Anderson and
Yeah.
Travis in Virginia.
Yeah.
So even when we did the Montana thing, we didn't actually spend that much time
It wasn't at the
together.
conference.
No.
Well, because there's so many people that want to talk, which is good, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just always talking to somebody else. So we went. I forgot that we did. We went and got ice cream, and I
Yes, we
thought your
did.
wife was your daughter. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know anything as to what we had
Really?
going on
I'll
there.
tell her. I'll
So
tell her that she'll have a ball with that. She'll have a ball. She was like, really?
I was trying to figure out who she was. I didn't have a clue what we were doing there. So
Right.
I didn't even remember Travis was there. That's how much I think
Yeah,
about him. So
Travis was there and Scott Anderson. You remember Scott, right? You know
yeah, he
Scott.
was there too.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's
So
good. Good
anyway,
time.
now you are obviously now a full preterist or covenant eschatologist, whatever title they put on us. Hyper preterist, the futurists will call you. How did you come into this world? Because you are a Baptist boy, born and raised in the Reformed Church, Southern Baptist. How did you come into this world of heresy, man? How did you become a heretic?
Yeah.
That's
So
all I want to know.
probably really organically. um, I've when I took the church over in 2020, I really had started studying and came into Daniel and started Daniel premillennial and ended Daniel partial preterist postmillennial, and
Okay.
then got to Daniel 12 and quit because I didn't know what to do with it. And that was really probably about I don't know how long that journey took me. Probably 6 months on that journey to get from pre-mill to partial preterist post-mill.
Mm.
And there were some
Now,
people that were,
what year is this that you're talking about? What kind of, what generally, what year is that? 2019, 2018,
yeah, so
2020?
I'm 2020 to 21 in on
Okay.
that type of stuff, I would say. And then probably spent a year to a year and a half, partial preterist, post millennial stuff. End of 22, probably summer of 22, I was really right into the full preterism edge stuff. I don't remember the first time me and Mike talked. It was probably summer of 22.
Okay.
And I had, oh, the guy in Jonesboro who always is trashing full preterism was a friend of mine. We had gone to church together. Me and him and Travis were actually elders at the same church. The Apologetic Dog's what he goes by. And we had talked and thrown some eschatology stuff around, and I never, we never really had any agreements because I was pretty hardcore partial preterist post millennial, and
Mm-hmm.
I still had some questions on things I was trying to work out. And man, I'd wind up calling Sam Frost one day and we talked on the phone for about 2 hours. And I really walked away from that conversation saying, there's not anything he said that was, it didn't deter anything exegetically for me. And it was, I mean, it was a cordial conversation. I wasn't even identifying as a full preterist at that time because I probably really wasn't. But my friend had wanted me to call him, and they do a lot of things together now, which Jeremiah ran to Sam when he couldn't answer anything that I said. But
Okay.
so that, and then right about that time after that, I wound up calling Mike, and we had a conversation. He introduced me to David Curtis, and not too long after that, we had sat down and did kind of a Zoom thing together. And that's actually on my Patreon page if anybody's interested in it. So that was early. First time I'd ever talked to David Curtis. First time I'd ever talked to Mike like that in a Zoom, and me and him, and actually Josh Gibson, my friend, is on that some too. So just me asking questions early on. They were gracious enough to let me record it, and then I asked permission a couple months ago. They let me release it. So that's on my Patreon page if anybody's interested in it. And from that point, I was making videos as a partial preterist post millennial. And I think this is what's crazy to me, Steve, because I hear people all the time say, well, you guys just want to be different. And I want, in the arrogance of my heart, I want to be like, no, I would be a lot more famous and a lot more popular and a lot more well respected if I was a partial preterist post millennial, because I'd probably be speaking at their conferences and all the big ones and all the rest. You know what I mean? So, because that was kind of my lane and my world. I was a darling, you might say, in the Southern Baptist world. So, I resigned. Our church left the Southern Baptist Convention. I was the moderator for the associational business meetings, So, I mean, like, I'm leading the meetings and we leave the convention. Like, it's that type of stuff. So I wound up coming into preterism all along, into all that. And then I just kind of became, I don't know that I ever came out and just said on YouTube, hey, I believe the second coming happened. Now, I had that conversation with the church. I stood up and told them, I said, look, y'all want me to resign? I'll resign. Here's what I believe. And 100% vote no, stay. So we did that, and man, it was really a good time. And I was afforded a lot of time to study, and people were encouraging. And man, seeing people grow along with me for, I don't know, it was a solid, really good 4-year stretch, 4.5-year stretch there, to see people growing and understanding the Bible. And that was really encouraging to me. So, and I know a lot of people think I probably left the church over preterism stuff, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So, that has nothing to do with any of it. I was never outside the church. I got hammered all the time, but inside the church, I never faced any. There were people who weren't full preterist, obviously, plenty of them, but it wasn't an issue. But I didn't really hammer it, so to say. So, but I just taught as I went and just went to the text, and been a blessing. And I've got to meet a lot of different people, wrote a book that American Vision wound up publishing that I did with Eric, who hosts Gary DeMar's podcast.
What's the title? What's the title of the book?
The Greatest and the Least, talking about John the Baptist. So you can get that at AmericanVision.org. And, there's some good stuff in it. And it's probably, some more of my intellectual property with Eric's stuff. It sounds like, looks like me, sounds like Eric. And that might be the best way to put it. Because if I typed it and wrote, you know, I'm probably 35% of it actual writing. And,
Okay.
but intellectual property was kind of based off a talk I gave on John the Baptist. I did the eschatology of John the Baptist at the Berean Bible Conference in Virginia in 2023, I think it was.
Hmm.
Maybe that was 24. Man, I don't, man, it had to be 23. I think it was 2023.
It had to be 23 because I was when I was there. Oh no, I was there when last year. Yeah, last year was when I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So shout
I
out to
guess.
them. That's going on this week. So
Yeah.
that'll kick off
Yeah.
in 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
That'll be
that's kind of
nice.
my journey, man, and
Okay.
got to know a
Now,
lot of people through it.
how did your when you first came into it and you begin to realize where it's going? How did your wife and your closest family members, how did they respond to it? What was going on with that?
Um, I mean, she just listened. So it was all a really busy season for her, and it's funny because she was either pregnant or nursing or had babies or on maternity leave throughout every bit of it.
So lucky, so
The
lucky.
whole, our oldest one's 7, youngest one's 2. So she's really just now to a stage to where it's funny you say this because he told me last night on the couch, she's like, all right, I understand it. But there are a lot of questions that I'm going to have on things that have happened over the past 5 years that we've got to go spend some time talking about because I haven't been able to really fully invest
Right,
in.
right.
So it's funny you bring that up. But nah, I mean,
Right,
my wife comes from a Catholic background, so major changes to her are not, she doesn't have the upbringing that I had as far as
right, right.
eschatologically, which I was actually probably grew up classifying myself as an Arminian and probably spent about 5 years in Reformed theology.
That's interesting.
So
See, even though I was a charismatic, you and I were like this even before we knew, because you're charismatic, you're an Armenian automatically.
yeah, but here's the difference in me and you. I had friends that would go to the charismatic meetings and stand
Uh-huh.
up and quote John 1 in the Greek, and everybody else thought they were speaking in tongues, and it was actually John 1 in the Greek. So
That is interesting. I
the
think I
interpreter
gotta
got it
take.
wrong, by the way.
Right, right.
So, I mean,
Because
it wasn't a charismatic background, but
okay. Now, for me, let me say this: when I first heard about preterism, because I don't know why, because I mean, I was in the Reformed world at least from about 2011. That's when I first came into the Reformed world, about 2010, 2011. So I started reading a lot of MacArthur, Piper, went back all the way back to Calvin, Augustine, and all. So, but I was still a charismatic. But I used to call myself a Pentecostal charismatic. So my soteriology was very reformed, but my pneumatology was no. Oh no, we gotta speak in tongues, man. How can
yeah,
you prove you have the Holy Spirit?
right.
So anyway, I wasn't giving that up easy. So anyway, when I first heard about preterism, so this is 2019 December, right? And at first, I didn't tell my wife anything. So I'm studying, I'm listening to Don, I'm listening to Michael. I get onto the Ed Stevens stuff. I hear other people. And when I was really finally funny, just foundationally ready, I go to her, I say, hey, there are these guys who are saying that Jesus already came back. And she said, why? So I show her Matthew 10 and I show her Matthew 16. And you know what she told me? This really messed my mind up. She said, oh yeah, I have always wondered about those verses. And remember, I've been her pastor since 2008. I said, what did you say? She said, I've always wondered, why is Jesus seeming to say that he is coming back in their lifetime? I said, I've never seen those verses. I had, honestly, you and God, between me and you, God, I had never seen those verses till 2019.
Hmm.
Never. So I had never even thought, I had never crossed my mind. So she told me, yeah. And so after I showed her what they're saying, they say, yeah, that makes sense. I think that's the right thing. And I was so mad at her. I was so mad at her for understanding it and receiving it so easily. I was like, do you understand that this is messing with my whole faith? Do you understand that this is pulling the rug from under me? But for her, she was like, and she still says this, but it's the word of God. What are you going to do with it? You believe what it says.
Right.
So that's why I had to ask you about your wife. How did that work out when she first had it?
No, my wife's cool. She's so my wife's highly intelligent, which I hope my kids get that because I wasn't. I made a 22 like 4 times in a row on the ACT. She made like a 34 and took it once and was done.
Oh my God,
So
she is smart.
she was pretty intelligent. So
Right.
she picks up things very quickly. So she gets it, but she may not. We don't think alike though. She's very like book smart,
Right.
strategic, smart, straightforward, to where I'm kind of more like artistic, I guess.
Right. Right.
So maybe partially autistic too. Artistic, a little.
Artistic and
Well,
autistic.
yeah, I'm probably a little bit of both. So when I get on something, I just hammer it. So I
Right.
gotta be,
Right.
I gotta be a little
Right.
something in there. So, but no,
Awesome.
she's been
Awesome.
great all along the way. It's never been and I know there are people who have like the marital issues over the belief stuff, but
Right.
we've always just sat down and talked about stuff, and it's been. We listened to Jeff Durbin's Olivet Discourse series together early on, and both
Mhm.
walked away and said, "That makes more sense than anything we've ever heard." So,
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now you are coming out, and you're only going to really be with us on Saturday because of what we talked about, the schedule and all that. Now, let me put up here on the screen on day one, just for the sake of those who are watching us, those who want to come out. We have day one, Wednesday, July the 8th, arrival all day long. Actually, the whole center will be open all day long since morning from us. But officially, anytime from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., we'll arrive, we'll have lunch, we'll eat together. Then we only have one teaching session on that first day. Tim Martin, we already have had an interview with him. He's going to be teaching about the faith at the field of Anathoth. And then, of course, we have some rest, we have some dinner. And then, now this is the part that I wish we could do something about, but we fully understand. We will have a Meet the Speakers roundtable fellowship on the first day, first evening, just hanging out, just, eating and just hanging out together. But for you, Zach, we will actually hope that if you can make it on Friday evening, we will have another session because that will be the last night before we end the conference. Because the conference starts on Wednesday afternoon, then we have all day Thursday, all day Friday, and half day on Saturday, all the way up to maybe up to 2 p.m. and all that, and then we let people go. Now, on Friday, I'm hoping that people will get to meet you, and that's why actually I'm asking you some of these personal questions, just in case you don't make it on well, of course, you're not going to make it on Wednesday, and then if you don't make it on Friday because of the driving, whatever. But your Saturday session, I want us to talk about that now. Your Saturday session, let me see if I can find it somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So your Saturday session, you come in every day. We actually have some time of worship, in the sanctuary. Whoever, this is free for all. Some time of worship, people don't have to, then it's optional. Then breakfast, time of corporate praise, we believe in that. Then we have Dr. William Bell coming in before you, what changed after 70 AD. Now you're going to be speaking on Amos 9, the rebuilding of the tabernacle of David. That's going to be your only session. Now, before you talk about that, do you think, and I know this is right, I'm just kind of ambushing you with this, right? Do you think in conferences where people are coming to receive these kind of teachings, do you think it's important to have times of praising with song, praising with prayer, praising, corporate praising and worshiping? What is your view of that? I know I've never asked you that, but I just want to find out your view.
when we had our conference in 2024, the number one thing I heard was y'all should have done more singing. So we're going to do more of that in 26 in Arkansas in August, the 14th to the 16th, if anybody wants to come to that. But yeah, no, I think I'm all for it. It's necessary. And I think for a lot of people who maybe don't have a weekly fellowship, that's just as important as the rest of it. because I've always thought that singing built unity. And even if you look at
Yes.
Old Covenant Israel and their structure, I mean, the singing was an aspect of unification for them. So, and a lot of it was, just antiphonal, that they would say something, the priest would say something, it would be back to them. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's really a lot of reformed liturgical stuff, a lot of antiphonal, either speakings or sayings or song,
Right,
or
right, right, right.
even the idea of holy, holy, holy in the Bible was antiphonal, that they were singing it back and forth, holy, holy, holy. So singing brings about unification, and I think that's true in the new covenant as well. And I
Right.
think it's important, and it becomes more challenging in some of our doctrinal paradigms which songs you can
True,
sing,
true,
but
true.
100% for it. And I
Mm-hmm.
I view it as necessary. It's edifying. I think singing is edification,
Mm-hmm.
and I think people like it and they want it and they desire it.
Right.
So
Now, I know that in some full preterist circles, a lot of people, or some, let me not say a lot, some people are kind of gravitating away from local fellowship, local, any organized type of coming together on a regular basis. What is your view of that now, these many years that you have been a preterist and a pastor? And, what is your view on it? And I know you've had many different views about it from different people.
I think the new covenant gives us more freedom than I ever dreamed of. I think you're free to or not to, but I really think a lot of people, if they had the option, that they would. Now, I firmly believe there are some people who they couldn't get along with anybody for a long period of time, and that's
Right,
just the truth.
right,
So,
right,
stone me or
right.
not on that one, I mean, that's just the truth. So,
That is true. That is true.
I went about when I left the church, I went about 2 months and didn't have anything for me or my family as far as getting together with people. And I remember just sitting at home on Sunday morning thinking, this is weird. And we're doing a little Bible study in the living room, but I missed people. I missed corporate worship. And I think you're free to do what you want to do. And if anybody tries to go
True.
to Hebrews 10:25, that's not the context at all of
No, that's
what
not at all. At all.
they're gathering to. They're telling them not to leave the new covenant, by the way, in Hebrews 10:25, because the great falling away was going on. But anyway, you're free in the new covenant to do as you wish. But
Hmm.
I think I tried to go to a First Baptist church locally, and they made sure I wasn't going to join. So it was pretty evident to me
What?
that I
What did
didn't
you
need
did
to.
you did you did you get the Michael Miano treatment or what?
It's they're
You
just
you do
they
you
were.
do know what the Michael Miano treatment is, right?
Yeah, I heard that. No, it wasn't that direct, but it was very obvious. So it was so you gonna stick around here, or why you, and I don't want to cause anybody issues. So
Right.
it's
Right.
funny how many people watch the YouTube channel too. It's really comical to go in places and just see get some looks, and it's pretty funny. But no, we have it, and I started right really toward the front of the new year. Maybe it was a little before Christmas, a little get together that we're doing, renting a
Hmm.
space, and love it. It's really simple. Sing some
Awesome.
songs, pray together, pray as families, teach for about 40 minutes, no membership.
Right.
That's it.
Hmm.
So
That's really awesome, Zach. Now, you are going to be teaching on this topic, and don't give us any details. I don't expect any details right now. But your topic that you gave me is Amos 9, rebuilding the tabernacle of David. Any just very general, very just on the surface, what should our conference attendees expect from this kind of teaching? What are you what is your angle? Where are you going?
I cheated, and I taught through really the back half of First Samuel, and I just finished it 2 weeks ago. So from December to 2 weeks ago, the
Hmm.
back half of First Samuel, and really trying to set myself up to get into Second Samuel, where David's going to build the temple and really
Right.
take over and establish his dynasty. I'll give two things away. Obviously, in Amos 9, you've got to go to Acts. you've got to go over to Acts chapter 15.
You do.
And James is going to stand up and quote from Amos 9. And I cheated again, Steve, because I went straight from 1 Samuel to which book of the New Testament? I went to James. So now
Right.
I've spent some time there, and I'm allowing myself to vicariously study as I go through it. But the one nugget I'll drop, there's a connection, I think, from God taking the kingdom essentially as it was under David, which was all of Israel together, and the Gentiles are going to help him build, essentially help Solomon build the temple, to when it's torn from Solomon. At that point, everything functions and operates different from that point on.
Right.
The New Testament promises to restore it like it was in the day of David. And Jesus is the son of David. He's the new and better David. Your old covenant promises like Ezekiel 36, 37 talk about when David would come and would restore the kingdom back together. And David's been dead, by the way, when Ezekiel writes.
Right.
But essentially, what God told Samuel the prophet was, he said, look, if y'all go take a king, they're not denying you, Samuel, but they're denying me from being their God. So essentially, when he gives them Saul and they get a different king, no longer is it a theocracy. God's not at the center of it like he was.
Right.
And if you'll remember a very famous spot in 1 Corinthians 15, when it says that Jesus takes the kingdom and he hands it back to the Father.
Right.
Because it's now established again under a new David. And that's the single nugget that I'll drop. That'll be part of where I'm going. So I think there's a strong connection there from what God told Samuel and them aborting a theocracy to getting this back to being placed under the headship of God all together with the Gentiles in covenant standing.
But Zach, let me be the devil's advocate. You have some really good Satan stuff, especially in Montana. You did touch my Satan, and it's a miracle that we remained as friends. But but anyway, what does that have to do with eschatology, though? Because it sounds to me like you're talking about something being established and remaining. Isn't eschatology the end of the world and the end of all things?
It is the end of all covenant world, covenant things pertaining to the old covenant, and
Right.
establishing a new kingdom that would last forever, that would remain. And that's what this tabernacle of David would be, but it's going to turn out to be the new covenant church.
Awesome. You see, that's the part that I missed out, to be honest with you, for a long time. Because I kept asking myself, and I get that question almost every week. But eschatology is about the end. You are speaking about the kingdom continuing. And I think that will be just so awesome when you bring that through, because I think that's what people have to understand, that eschatology is a means to something greater. Eschatology is not the end.
As much as it's about the end and doing away of one thing, it's about the coming of another, an establishment in full of another.
Amen. Now, before we go to the comments, because I'm not gonna, I know you've had a long day. You have probably a longer day tomorrow. I just want to give this information to our viewers that if you want to get into this conference, we think it's really worth your time. And again, the conference itself, we have 7 speakers. We cannot announce the 7th speaker right now. We have Dr. Don K. Preston, Dr. William Bell, Zach Davis, Michael Miano, Tim Martin, and Steve Magua are our speakers. But before we leave you tonight, I want you to know that you can get tickets if you go to our church website, which is thewellchurchstl.com. You will notice that there are a couple tabs on the website. When you go there, Ask the Pastor is our YouTube link. Women of Honor is our women's ministry link where we help orphans. And then Events is where you want to go. You go to Events. When you get to Events, there's only one event for 2026 so far. That anyway was worthy to get onto the website. You go to View Event, and it's going to take you to the page that has all the information. We are going to be meeting at the Todd Hall Retreat Center, which is about 30 minutes from downtown St. Louis on the Illinois or in the Illinois side, you can get your tickets from this website right here. There are two types of tickets that you can get. So there's all information about St. Louis and all that. But there's two types of tickets. You can get a full board ticket, in which means that we cover your lodging, we cover your food, we cover the conference sessions, or which is $485 per person, or you can cover your own boarding. We will cover the meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the sessions, and that ticket is $200 per person. There are two ways you can go there. You can either go to the wellchurchscl.com for the tickets, or Beyond Creation Science for the tickets. We still have a few more tickets left, and we are hoping that everybody will be able to, or at least we will have to at least 100 people that will join us. The tickets are almost gone, so if you have not already done so and you mean to do it, this is the time to get your ticket. So now, Zach, after the St. Louis conference, you guys have a conference in Arkansas. Can you tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so we'll have the Arkansas Eschatology Conference August 14th to 16th at the Embassy Suites in Jonesboro. And tickets are online at Eventbrite, and there's also a special room rate that's there. It's a super nice hotel. So in my opinion, it's the nicest hotel in Arkansas. There's a couple of them in Arkansas, but it's the nicest one. So eventbrite.com/Arkansas Eschatology Conference. It's on my YouTube page. Just made a video about it. So you can go there and see the link. You can type it in. It's on my Patreon page, and you can check it out from there. So 9 different speakers are coming. I would list them, but I'll forget somebody. So
I know them. I know the most important one anyway.
It's you.
Steve Magua. Yay!
Travis, myself.
I don't care about anybody else. Come on, don't say about it. I'm
Steve,
the main speaker.
Mike, Don.
Right. Is David going to be there?
David, Bob Cruikshank, Alex Poliak, and Kristen Bingaman, the Heretic Chick's going to do a ladies session.
Yeah. So
excited. She was a popular request by a lot of people. So
well,
we're excited about that. Excited
stuff,
to have
man.
her.
I love her stuff. Now, is there any particular theme for the Arkansas Eschatology Conference in August?
No themes.
Eschatology.
Sorry, we do no themes.
Okay.
I like a full spectrum. So
all right.
We'll let that slide as it is. So I really don't even know what everybody's doing at this point. So I'm excited. I know Alex Poliak's speaking on Daniel 7, 13, and 14.
Oh, cool.
And I'm speaking on the hope of glory. Well, what's the blessed hope? Really, it's going to be the title.
Right.
So
okay. Very cool. And of course, you mentioned earlier on, and we need to announce it this week, starting Friday, right? Virginia Berean Conference.
Yeah.
So, and this is just information for all preterists out there. Now, of course, the Berean Conference is already closed. It's been closed a while. It gets filled up pretty quick. But just for people to know that there are opportunities, if you're a preterist, a partial preterist, or an aspiring preterist, for you to come and interact with the leading teachers in fulfilled eschatology, and learn and ask questions and do whatever you need. So any last words here, Zach? This has been awesome.
Just thank you, Steve. Appreciate your kindness and having me on.
Awesome. Now, I have a few comments here that we'll finish with. They're not too many. Josephine Kurovilla, she says, someone needs to get Maurice Rogers to speak at one of these conferences. Did I see you interviewing Maurice Rogers lately?
I just interviewed Maurice Sunday night. So that's
I've not watched it, but I did see the thing come up on my thing.
It's on my YouTube page. So JTex, were you on that? I don't remember. I got to talking to Maurice and didn't interact in the comments much. So
awesome. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah, that's the first time I met him.
I've talked with Maurice a couple of times. Actually, we are hoping and we will have to look at, because he's from, I think he lives either in the Bahamas or Grenada. I think Grenada. We are looking, hopefully, we can't promise, but hopefully next year in Montana, we will see if we can get him there. So Josephine, we are thinking about Maurice. Then Josephine also said earlier on, thanks for the YouTube videos from both of you. So she watches you a lot. And JTech says, yes, he was there during the Maurice thing. And then JTech also said earlier, at our Sunday worship service, I personally changed the words to the songs to match a covenant eschatology viewpoint. Do you do that, Zach?
We did it at the Arkansas Eschatology Conference.
That's awesome. That's we I think was it you were there, Montana. I think we sang one song and everybody said no, don't sing that verse, because you know the hymns, every verse will be so good about the cross and about the justification, and then it gets to the last one and it's about
Yeah, the last verse is always he's coming.
he's coming in the future. Yeah. So, and then of course we have today's says, I love this interaction and hearing Zach's journey to full preterism.
Thank you. Don't know who you are, but thank you.
All right. Let me see if there's any other one. Yes, JTEX says he'll be there in August. He'll be there in August. So he's coming to Arkansas.
Good. Excited to meet you.
All right. Very good. Well, guys, that will be it for tonight. That's Pastor Zach Davis. Now, Zach, where can people find you if they want to find your stuff, your books, your teachings? Where do they find you? If you can just kind of give us a rundown.
YouTube.com/Zach Davis or Patreon.com/Zach Davis. My book with Eric Rausch, The Greatest and the Least, about John the Baptist, is on AmericanVision.org.
Okay. So it's not on Amazon, it's just American Vision.
Just there. Got to go to American Vision to get it.
All right. Very cool. Very cool.
Or become a member of a certain level on my Patreon page, and I'll just send you one.
Hey, there you go. There you go. There you go. That's actually the way to do it. So go to his Patreon page and, get on some membership level. And he always gives books away anyway, all the time. All the time. Now, one last question, Zach. Who is your favorite Old Testament prophet?
Oh, man.
I know. Total ambush. I'm not going to ask you why, because I know that will take the whole night. Favorite, the one that moves you.
Moses. Deuteronomy 18. Moses.
Right. Now, for me, I would have to say Daniel. I don't know why, but
I can't stand
before.
you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I get to heaven, me and him we're gonna have a long sit down. I don't have a clue what he wrote half the time.
I remember, and guys, well, I won't stretch this to the Steve Magua level of long videos, but I remember when I first got saved and I'm a Christian and I read Daniel and I could not understand anything at all. And so I remember praying and saying, God, if this has to be the last thing you do with me, please help me one day to understand what Daniel says. So when I finally began to understand Daniel, he became my favorite.
Daniel didn't even know what he said. That's why I think it's Daniel 12:8. He said, though I heard, I did not understand.
I didn't understand, right? Right. That's why I love him. He gives me hope.
Yeah,
he gives me, because if I read something I don't understand, I say, hey, even the wise Daniel didn't understand it.
Well, think about how ignorant we are, Steve. The New Testament writers explain it to us, and we still can't understand it. Not all. I mean, not in totality. So,
right.
Anyway.
Right. Now, you have a suggestion here before you go. Bones. This is Amanda, maybe. I don't know. T-Bones.
That's for you, not me.
No, this is for you. They say, will you be discussing Numbers 12, 6-8? Zach will be doing that very soon. I don't know when, but very soon on his Patreon. I don't even know what that Numbers 12. T-Bones, we can't answer you right now, but we will. I will definitely look into it because I do love suggestions. Now, Father's Joy is coming all the way from Canada, and she says she's going to be here at St. Louis in July. She says, this is a wonderful interview and conversation. Thank you, gentlemen. And then J-Tech says, Joel is the best for him because I can always spell his name correctly.
I got you.
All right. And then this is Father's Joy. I got Zach's and Eric's book. I'm starting to read it. Hey, you got a customer, man. See?
Good deal. Hope it's beneficial to you. So
Yeah. I hope so too. Well, Zach, this has been fun. I wish I could make it 2 hours long like Steve Mago always does it, but I really understand you've had a long day. You have a longer day tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you in St. Louis in July, and I look forward to seeing you in August in Arkansas. We didn't even get to talk about Montana. How was that for you? Was it good?
we'll get. Yeah, it was good. It's a good time. That was a cool trip. Really memorable.
All right, very cool. Well, let me release you, Zach. I will probably talk a little bit more about how to get the tickets, but thank you for being here. I'll call you after this, Zach.
All right. Thank you, brother.
All right, God bless.
All right. Take care.
All right. So, guys, that has been the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Zach Davis. I love Zach Davis. He's such a just a chill guy, and he teaches such deep stuff. He has really affected my understanding of the Bible and of preterism and all that good stuff. So please come out and see him, talk to him. Saturday, July the 11th is when he's going to be speaking. He's going to be joining us on Friday, on the 10th of July. And of course, they have the Arkansas Eschatology Conference with Travis Drum and all those other speakers. So that's really, really going to be really awesome. So if you do want to get a ticket, and we really encourage that if you want to get a ticket, this would be the time to get it. Please go to our church website, the wellchurchscl.com/events. You can put /conference, but even if you don't get all that, just go to the website itself, go to events, and that will lead you to the tickets page. That's how you get the tickets. You can also go to beyondcreationscience.com. It will give you a link to all that. If you have any questions about the meals, the diet, any of that stuff, please write me an email. All the information for that is go scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and I do try to get back to people. We are still in the planning stages, but it's going to be awesome. Now, last question that I'm going to field. Well, last 2 questions. Required mailbox. Good to see you, both of you. I wish I wasn't late. It's all right. Required mailbox, because fortunately it's all recorded, so you'll be able to rewatch it whenever you have time. Then lastly, Josephine Kurovilla says, is Dr. Cindy Coates a full preterist? Yes, she is. Dr. Cindy Coates from Atlanta, Georgia. She is a full preterist. She has a very wonderful book on Matthew 24. So if you are a book worm like I am, please get her book on Matthew 24. It's a blessing. She is a wonderful, wonderful woman and a saint of God. So we thank God for her. Now, so once again, the Eschatology of the Prophets Conference in St. Louis, Missouri, this summer, July 8th to 11th, 2026. Our confirmed speakers are Dr. Don K. Preston, Dr. William Bell Jr., Pastor Zach Davis, Pastor Michael Miano, Tim Martin, the author of Beyond Creation Science, and myself, Pastor Steve Magua. I am the host here in St. Louis. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. I know your life will not be the same again. I know we didn't mention this, but in between the sessions, and we have many sessions, each speaker has at least 2 sessions. Tim Martin has 3. But in between the sessions, we'll have kingdom conversations, deep dives into fellowship. We will have an awesome time. We have a whole retreat center booked up only for our group. We will have the whole grounds. Everything is just going to be awesome. And of course, St. Louis is a beautiful, beautiful city to visit in the summer. The Arch, downtown St. Louis, the Loop, everything. It's just a beautiful place to come. You will enjoy yourself and you will be blessed immensely. T-Bone says, will you be covering all the prophets? Now, obviously, we cannot promise that all the prophets will be covered because this is a 3-day conference, right? 4 nights, 3 days. So we have given our speakers the latitude to choose their topics. We do have a schedule of topics. I can run through them if you want, but you can always find them on our website, or you can go to the first interview that I did with Tim Martin. We went through all the topics. So right now, as far as I can tell, we are not going to cover every one of the prophets. That would take at least a 2-week, maybe 3-week, maybe even a whole month conference. So right now, we have every speaker just choosing what they feel they want to communicate the strongest about an Old Testament prophet or even a New Testament prophet and how it relates to eschatology. So we didn't even tell our speakers that they have to speak about Old Testament prophets, biblical prophets. They can speak about John in Revelation. They can speak about Jesus. They can speak about Peter, any prophet in the Bible, and what they taught about eschatology. Our focus is eschatology. What do they say about end time events and so on and so forth. Now, will some of the speakers be selling their books? That is actually standard fare. I expect Tim Martin to bring his books. I expect Don Preston to have some of his books on the table. Michael Miano always comes with his books. Hopefully, Zach Davis will come with his book. William Bell, I've actually not met William Bell in person. We've talked on the phone. I've watched a lot of his teachings. So yes, we will have the speakers. We always encourage them to bring a couple of the copies of their books so that those who want to go home with books, they will be able to get that. Numbers chapter 12 is about the types of ways God spoke through the prophets. I cannot promise you, T-Bones, that Numbers will be part of the top. At least as far as I know, I don't think Numbers is one of the topics that is being spoken about. But now that you've connected with me, let's continue to speak about, even when we are not speaking about the eschatology of the prophets, because we do teach about the eschatology of the prophets really on a daily basis. I know Don does, I know William does, I know Zach does, I know Michael does, I know Tim does. So connect with us. Let's discuss it. I'm always on TikTok. I'm always on Facebook and YouTube. So let's get together for this 4 nights and 3 days conference in St. Louis. Let's fellowship. Let's glorify God. Let's edify one another. And I know that we will all have fun as we do it. So that will be all for tonight. I hope that you have been blessed. If you have any questions about the conference, please don't hesitate to send an email, send a text message, or call me, because my phone number is scrolling at the bottom. And see you in July in St. Louis. And yes, Father's Joy, we actually desired to have Shelley as a speaker, and we will eventually, because we are hoping by the grace of God that we will be having many conferences for years to come. So, and next year, we hope that actually we will have a more balanced speaker, lineup, especially in terms of male, female. We do want to hear from the women, because we know God has also revealed and made women understand these things about eschatology. So we will be doing that. And that has actually been our desire and our plan. So guys, until the next time, God bless you so much. Please watch the 1-minute video that follows. It gives you information on how to register, how to get in touch with us. We hope to see you in July in this year, 2026, July 8th to 11th in St. Louis. God bless. Good night.
In a world of confusion, where timelines collide and prophecy is often misunderstood, a gateway is opening, a gathering unlike any other, where the voices of the prophets echo once again. From July 8th to 11th, 2026, Leaders, teachers, and seekers will converge at the Todd Hall Retreat Center for a journey through the eschatology of the prophets. This is the Gateway to Fulfillment, featuring voices you know and trust. Join Steve Magua, Tim Martin, Michael Miano, Zach Davis, Dr. Don K. Preston, and William Bell Jr., with more to be announced. For 4 unforgettable days, you'll explore the prophetic scriptures, uncover the fullness of God's redemptive plan, and gain a deeper understanding of our fulfilled hope. Seats are limited, so secure your spot now. Register today at the link in the description. Don't just watch prophecy. Step into fulfillment. If you're passionate about biblical truth, like this video and subscribe for more powerful content and conference updates. We'll see you there.